Texas went into the big house and absolutely dominated the Michigan Wolverines, 31-12. We know that. But in this video, let's talk about the reasons I saw that really get me excited about a national title run. Hey everybody, Brian Davis from A to Z Sports. Texas just wrapped up a 31-12 win over the Michigan Wolverines, going into the big house, snapping their 23-game winning streak, snapping their overall winning streak, and really laying down a marker, I thought, that Texas is going to be one of the top teams to beat in the country in 2024. I went ahead and wrote this in my post-game wrap-up. Number one, Georgia, look out. Whatever the SEC can muster, bring it on. If you're a Texas fan, you should be pretty hype after what you saw all day long. And the thing about it is that was most impressive to me, guys. It's not just how they started, because let's be honest, they did not start very well. Cam Williams, 2 false starts, a holding penalty, take a touchdown off the board. Bert Auburn misses a field goal. Steve Sarkisian even said it himself. We kind of stubbed our toe a little bit. That was probably the polite way of saying, what the hell is going on out there, right? But it was the way that Texas rebounded and the way they sort of collectively pulled it all together that, quite honestly, was the most impressive thing to me. They could have easily gone on the road and been rattled by 111,000 people there in Michigan Stadium, but they didn't. They absolutely didn't. The defense pulled it together, held a 3-and-out. What did Texas do? They went on an immediate scoring drive. Jarrett Gibson punched it in from 7 yards out, got Texas on the board. They were off and rolling, right? And there's a couple things I want to point out that I really thought really give me the indication that this is on the right track, right? Number one, Steve Sarkisian spent all week breathing confidence into these players, right? Hey, he knew that they had almost 50 guys that went to Tuscaloosa last year and made it work. They went to Michigan and made it work again. So there shouldn't have been a lot of panic on that sideline. And that tells me that Texas is going to be able-minded and ready no matter what comes up the rest of the season. There's nothing that they're going to see at Texas OU or against Georgia or Florida or Kentucky. There's nothing that they're going to see in those games that they didn't see against Alabama, Washington last year, right? So when you think of that much veteran experience coming back, and now you put another Michigan win on their resume, that's pretty good. Want to talk about, too, about the defensive line, how the defensive line held up all day long, and really Michigan didn't do anything until they got a garbage time touchdown late. You look at drive breakdowns, their average distance on third down was 6.8 yards. It was an average of third and 6.8, okay? Texas, meanwhile, faced an average of 7.8 yards on third down. So Texas was consistently put into long situations, okay? Third and an average of 7.8 yards. Well, how did it finish out? Texas, a rather amazing 10 for 16 on third down conversions. The third down conversion rate, to me, is what won them the game, right? You know, you just can't say enough about Quinn Ewers. 24 for 36, 246 yards, 3 touchdowns. Was there any point in this game where you thought, they've got him rattled, he's out of control, what is he doing? Oh my God, bring in Arch. No, there wasn't any of that. And quite honestly, I thought it was very good of Sark to not even let Arch come in for some garbage time snaps, right? Because Steve has mentioned that he will only want to play the backup if there are meaningful snaps to get, right? There was none. This was Quinn Ewers' one of his signature wins, start to finish. He let number 3 go out there and get it done. One thing about spreading the ball around, though, Gunnar Helm. Let's touch on him a little bit more here. The tight end, right? Everybody thought Jatavian Sanders is now with the Carolina Panthers. What is Texas going to do at the tight end spot, right? Helm, I think he came in with only 14 catches the last 2 years, right? What's this guy going to do? Well, today he led the team in receiving, 7 catches for 98 yards, and he put 1 score on the board that helped ignite the offense. Gunnar Helm, hat tip to you, sir. Great job today. A lot of other players had a lot of special days, but the big thing about this now, in my opinion, is, and Sark talked about this in postgame, you got to keep it going, right? You have to keep this momentum going because, let's be honest, the next 3 games, while they're all at home, okay, they're all at home, they're not going to get you as jacked up as Texas and Michigan. They're just not, right? Look, we're all human. The players are humans too, okay? And it's hard to get worked up for UTSA. No offense to the Fighting Jeff Trailers, okay? But you're just not going to have the same juice for Michigan that you're going to have, or same juice for UTSA that you would have for Michigan, right? And then Louisiana Monroe, okay? And then the SEC opener against Mississippi State. Again, no offense to those teams, but Texas has to find a way to dig down. They're going to be big favorites in those games. They have to keep this momentum going. Sark talked about this in postgame and wrote about this on A to Z Sports. You cannot let this be the high water mark for 2024. And I don't think they will. You look back at last year, the Alabama game, that was not the high water mark. That was merely the launching pad that got Texas on the board and running. I think we're going to see the same thing again this year as well. Texas is going to, I think really carry this on and carry this into the 3-game homestand, carry it into Oklahoma, and then bang, Georgia right there. Because if you're not progressing forward to get to the OU and Georgia games, you're doing it wrong. Texas needs to be keeping it moving forward because you want to keep building as the season goes along. There's a very strong possibility. Let's say Texas goes all the way this year, okay? Very strong possibility that they could face Georgia, 3 times? Conceivably, right? Regular season, SEC title game, and then in the CFP. You don't know. Georgia has some of the most amazing talent on the board. But let's be honest, Texas is pretty good too, right? Ohio State's pretty good. There's a lot of good teams out there, right? In the upper echelon. So fantastic win for the Beavos. Listening to the Eyes of Texas afterwards, I have never heard it sung that loud. Sark talked about how the excitement of the players and how loud it was in their postgame. That's pretty amazing. Really good win today for the Beavos. If you're a Texas fan, you should be saving your money for postseason because you might need it as well. Final score once again: Texas 31, Michigan 12. You can read all about this at A2ZSports.com. Read it all week. Stay with us all week. Stay with A to Z for all your favorite NFL coverage as the NFL season gets cranked up as well. Okay, everybody, that's it for me, Brian Davis. We'll see you next time. Thanks a lot.